Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2024 Hyundai Elantra Hybrid in the Limited trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 225/45 Hankook tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Fluid Metal, which looks like a little bit of a darker silver color. It looks really nice. So they redesigned the front end here for the 2024 Elantra, and it looks quite a bit different. A little bit lower front end, I guess, and it has these really nice LED lights. You got to check these out in my night video. Both the headlights and the daytime running lights are looking fantastic. Now it has the parking sensors integrated here and here, so both the body colored and the flat black portions there. This is the radar adaptive cruise control sensor, and then you have the cameras system up here for the lane keep assist system. Looking at the profile, it does have the body colored handles, the upper portion of the side mirrors body colored. The pillars here are a matte black here, and then it has this little accent right here. It's kind of neat. It's like a little woven look to it. It's also matte black. And there is a like a chrome strip there on the very base of the windows right in here. This is what the key looks like. It's a full proximity key. It's kind of like that egg shape that they've been using recently. It does have the lock, unlock, the ability to remote start, panic button, and you can release the trunk here on the edge. And it's the type to where you can just put your hand right here, a little dimple, to lock the vehicle. It just senses your hand, and then to unlock it has a sensor back here, and it will unlock the vehicle. There's also a physical key location behind this little cover. You have to take that cover off and you can unlock the door with a physical key, which is not inside the fob. It's a separate key that you would either have on your keychain or keep it in a spot that you can access it. The door covers most of the threshold area, but not 100%. But most of the threshold area will be relatively clean. So here's the inside of the passenger door. It's pretty neat because it has like this this cloth right in here. It looks really cool. It has the white stitching, and then this is a hard touch surface here at the top. This is kind of like a plastic vinyl type material here, which is soft touch. That's here on the side as well. The very bottom of the door is a hard touch surface. This handle is also a little pocket because it's enclosed here, but there's no, it's just smooth plastic on the inside. And then you have the larger pockets there at the bottom. This one has the Bose sound system, which sounds pretty decent. There's no fancy sill plates here in the threshold or anything. Manually adjusted seats. Now these are a simulated leather texture material, which is, they feel really good. And then there's a cloth here where it meets up with the hard plastic. These are heated and vented seats. You can see it has large perforations there in the center, and a little bit of bolstering, and I like that stitching there on the side. Not too intrusive though. These are very comfortable seats actually. They are, this vehicle is kind of low to the ground, so you know it's pretty typical of this type of vehicle. And then it has this little pocket right here. Maybe not obvious, but you can put some papers or something right in here. You can see that. Hard touch surfaces here. Non-locking glove compartment. Pretty good size. Smooth plastic on the inside. Hard touch. And then this is kind of like rubbery, soft, non-reflective dash here. And I like the way they integrate the vents here with the rest of the design. It's pretty neat. Kind of flows nicely. Although the vehicle is low to the ground, so the seat is kind of low to the ground, so when you're getting in and out, for me it's a little bit of an issue of, you know, climbing in and out or whatever, but the opening of the door is nice. You're not bumping your head or anything. Same thing here with the back. The swing of the door makes this even better. Swings out nicely. It does have a little limitation here and here, but overall it's pretty good for the size of the vehicle and everything. The inside of the back door, we do have the hard touch surfaces here and here instead of having the soft touch on the armrest. Basically, there is a pocket there, and at the bottom we do have the cloth as well. Be nice if it had like something soft right here though. Basically a bench seat back here. It does have the latch system for car seats, and it's kind of wedged in this little crease right in there. You can feel it. It's kind of hard to see though. And there is an armrest. It folds down with cup holders. Soft. Wish the arms were soft in the door. And then there's a net pocket on the back of this passenger seat. Hard shut surface here. It's not one on the driver though. USB-C ports back here. Quite a big hump in the middle, so if you had a center passenger, it may not be perfect. Take a look at the back of the vehicle. It has a gloss black shark fin antenna back here. Third brake light is at the bottom of the glass, next to this black portion right there, which kind of makes the glass look a bit longer than what it is. And then we have some matte black back here instead of the gloss black. You see the matte black here, kind of extending from the back of the tire. You notice there's no cladding here on the side of the vehicle, on the center. It's just in the front and the back. And I really like the style. You can see it has a kind of like a sharp style to it. The backup camera is in a about perfect position. Yeah, it is in a perfect position, really. It's in a high center position, integrated into the vehicle. It's not like tacked on, offset next to the tag or something like that. It's actually the perfect position for the camera itself. And then the taillights are a combination of LED and standard bulbs. And once again, you can check out my night video. It's pretty cool. It has like this elongated H effect back here. These are reflectors down here, not lights. It does have the parking sensors as well. And to release the trunk, you can of course use the key, or there's a button here right underneath the emblem. Just press it and it releases the trunk. And then there's carpeted underside of the trunk. So here's the trunk space, which is pretty good actually. You see it's all carpeted here on the sides, but right here there's some exposed metal, and it's very poor light back here. I show this in the night video. It's one of the things that definitely needs to be improved. And under here is no spare tire. It just has a tire inflator kit. Definitely would recommend getting a spare tire to put in here. And you can fold these seats down. It has these releases here. So you just pull, release that one, release that one. You just grab the seat and pull it down like so. So the seats aren't level with the cargo area, but it does give you the ability to add quite a bit of space here to the trunk area when needed. Here's another way of releasing the trunk right here. Here's a way of releasing the locking fuel door, and it's on the driver's side. And it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. So this is a hybrid vehicle, so when you press and hold the brake and press this button, you may or may not hear the engine running. It'll basically just get everything ready, including the climate control runs even without the engine running. But sometimes the engine will run, sometimes not. Same thing with remote starting. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat hooks in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and a nice big footrest. Very comfortable. Let's take a look under the hood. You can see hopefully you can see that the daytime running lights are looking nice. So open the hood. There is a latch right here in the very center. You just reach in, move it to the left or up and to the left. It releases it here. And the hood's kind of heavy, and it does require a prop to hold it up. So there's the prop here, and it swings up, and you just put it right where the arrow's pointing. So there's insulation under the hood, and there's also seals across the back of the engine compartment here. And you can see a lot of the engine's covered up with plastic. We do have the orange high voltage lines here for the hybrid system. Insulated firewall, and a pretty good size air gap there, and a heat shielding because the exhaust is there in the back of the engine. So this is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it's paired to a 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, if you're into that kind of stuff. Now it's oriented this way, so it's a front wheel drive vehicle, so you have the front of the engine here and then the back of the engine there, and then the transmission is located back that way. This does have the blind spot detection system, and the indicators here on the side mirror right there, little triangle. And the inside of the driver's door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have your presets for your seats here, and then you have your power window switches. The front driver door is the only one that's one touch up and down. So you can press it one up and down. And then the back windows, you do have to hold it, but it does not go all the way down. You can see it has a little, that's as far as it goes down right there. So there's a little spot there where it still stays up. And the side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. Power seat here on the driver's seat. So you can go up, down, tilt, and all that stuff, and then a two-way lumbar adjustment. And once again, these are pretty, other than the actual seats being low to the ground, they're fairly comfortable seats. To the left of the steering column, there is a dimmer switch for the interior gauges. Reset the 12-volt battery if you need to do that, and then the traction control off. Default will be on, but if you need to spin tires, you can turn it off here. There is a tilt and telescoping steering column here. You can lock in place here, and the fuse box cover is right here, so it's fairly easy to just pull that off. It has a little information there on the inside, and you can access it fairly easy. I'm sitting in this driver's seat, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I put the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it's actually crazy how much room you have. It's way too far back for me to drive the vehicle. I mean, I can put my feet straight out and barely touch the pedals here. And so yeah, now behind me is like no room now. So having the ability to adjust the seat really well, like if you're really tall, you shouldn't have any problem driving this vehicle. So the steering wheel, it has the leather wrap part right here, and then it has this hard plastic in this area. And Hyundai has like a newer design, and so this is kind of like, I guess, their older design. But it's still fine, and it's kind of hard steering wheel. It's not really soft, but it does look good, and it's fine when you're driving. It's not really a big deal. I just have to change the way I normally hold the steering wheel, because right in here is a little bit annoying. But yeah, it looks good, and it's functional. It has the buttons here on the front are very functional. Here are the cruise controls here on the right side, and you just press this one button, and it not only does it turns the cruise control on and sets it all at the same time, and then you can change through the like your speeds if you want to increase or decrease your speed there, and then you can pause or resume. So like you want to cancel and then resume your cruise control, you can do that. You can cycle through the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you here, and it has like a little visual display as you're driving. And then this is the lane keep assist system, which works really well. Doesn't fight with you or cause any real problems or anything while you're driving. Now this little pages button and this little OK, we'll get to that in a second. It corresponds with the digital gauge cluster there. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio, change to the tracks. Audio source is that mode button. You have voice recognition and the phone button. You have a single button for both answering and hanging up, and then you have the separate button here, which is the one that you can customize. So you do whatever you want basically. You can set it to in the setting over here to do certain things. You do have the windshield wiper controls are here on the right side, and then you have the turn signal and also the headlight switch. Now I like the way when you start turning it, it shows you here on the screen what you're doing, because this isn't backlit or anything. So you simply just start turning it and it'll show you up here on the screen. Now the automatic high beams are not working well at all. So for me, I have to do that regularly to make sure I turn off the automatic high beams when I'm driving the vehicle. Okay, so this gauge cluster here, this is basically the smart view here, and I have it linked to where it'll change the view here to the drive mode. So there's smart, eco, and sport. Now you can see it has gauges here that are not really gauges. They're all digitally represented on a screen. It shows the outside temperature, distance to empty. It shows your average miles per gallon. So right now I'm getting 44, and so I got a little bit higher than that just driving on the highway and different driving, basically mixed driving. And so yeah, it's really good on gas. Then you have the status of the battery, fuel gauge on the other side. Then this has the RPMs there, but when you change drive modes, it'll change to this little meter right here, which will show you if you're charging the battery or using up the battery. So it kind of swings back and forth. So using this pages button here, and this little OK and this up and down, I'll show you what we got going on. So first of all, let's just show you the pages there at the top. You can see the little icons change. and you can see the different status there. Get different information. You notice that the tire pressure on the back wheels are lower, and this is kind of a good example of, even if the tire pressure monitoring system doesn't trigger, it's still good to check the tire pressure in your tires through the seasons. 3 or 4 times a year. As the temperatures change, it's a good idea to to manually check the tire pressure, not rely solely on the tire pressure monitoring system. All right, so this first one right here shows you the assist system. So when you turn on the cruise control, which it won't let me because I'm not driving, it'll have the distance between you and the vehicle, and the lane keep assist system status and all that stuff here. The next one will be basically your vehicle information. You can see the fuel economy is showing there, and then you can scroll up and down. Digital speedometer, that's where I normally keep it. So yeah, you get different information here. The next one will be your navigation. If you have you'll get the turn time by turn directions here if you have a navigation set on a destination, but right now it's just showing the digital compass. And then this is what we saw before with the information from the vehicle. So yeah, this is my default digital speedometer. This screen over here, that's kind of like the home screen, and I like the way it has the date, the time, the status of the media, and it has like a background map going on over here, kind of blends into it. And here's different icons similar to what you'd like use on a phone. And then your hybrid information is here. You can keep an eye on it. So right now we'll run off the battery. You see your map, navigation map, and you can go into your menu here and search and stuff like that. Hit the home button to go back. Navigation menu here where you can do more searches and save different locations, that kind of stuff. You can find dealerships as well. And then your phone, and then your phone projection, which would be your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can do a voice memo. You just hit that button and record your voice, so you can save it for later. Climate has some buttons down here, but there is some more functionality here on the screen. So like say if you want to change where the air is blowing, stuff like that. It does have a valet mode, a quiet mode, so it keeps the radio here in the front instead of the back for kids and stuff, like if you got a baby sleeping in the back. It does have HD radio, regular radio here, and it does have the satellite radio as well. Go into your setup, set up the vehicle when you first get it. This is where you can go in and change the ambient lighting, that kind of stuff. Also, the cluster has different, you can change the illumination. The cluster themes can be adjusted here. So you have, you can see right here, the cube. That's the cube. And then you have Classic A, Classic B, which is more of the sport mode. Like it actually looks sport mode. Classic A I don't have turned on. I have Classic C turned on because this is better at nighttime for me. It's not as bright. Classic A is a little bit too bright at nighttime. And then Classic B, it just kind of looks like a sport, like you're having sport mode all the time. So I just keep it on Classic C like that. And you can link it to the drive mode if you want. Now it does change a little bit when you change drive modes depending on what you choose, but there's a different views there. You can also have the tachometer display. You can choose the one you want here. You can go into lights, and this is where you can adjust the ambient light, that kind of stuff. And I show this in the night video. Alright, and then here is where you find the media. This is where your phone, AM, FM, Bluetooth, USB. It does have the sounds of nature, which is pretty cool. Oh, accidentally hit the horn. AM radio and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Make sure you're not falling asleep. And then you have the different users right here. You can set up the different users there on this little icon here. This button right here, you can go into turn off the display, edit home icons, and you can get a QR code for getting directly to the user manual, which is the same thing as this. So it's pretty straightforward once you know, how to use it and navigate through it. But I do like the way it has not only the clock but also the date. Four-way flashers are here, and then you have some physical buttons to kind of shortcut menu, like shortcuts throughout the system here, so you don't have to go through all that to get to some certain main features here. Physical volume knob, which you can push in to turn off the radio as well. Climate controls here. You have the driver and passenger temperatures. It has 3 levels of automatic. And then you can cycle through where you want the air to blow. You can sync the driver and passenger as well. Fan speed, all that stuff. You have heated and cooled seats. So it's a 3-stage heated, 3-stage cooled. So there's the heated, cooled. Same thing for the passenger side. You can recirculate there if you want. Front and rear defrosters are here. 12-volt power supply and a USB-A and USB-C ports. Wireless charger is here, and it does a pretty good job of charging my phone even when I have the case on it, and it keeps it still. There's also a little storage area right here as well. Here's the shifter. It does have your drive mode, so where you can cycle through Eco, Sport, and Smart. You can hit this button to turn on this one just has the backup camera, but it does have the ability to turn that backup camera on even when you're not in reverse, just if you want to look at it. Parking sensors, you can turn those on or off here in the front and back. Electronic parking brake, you just pull up on it, it engages the rear wheels, and you hold the brake and push down on it to release it. And it has an auto hold function if you want it to hold the brakes for you when you come to a complete stop. Alright, so there's the shifter, there's reverse, the parking sensors and the backup camera will be activated when you put it in reverse. Neutral, drive. Now, the parking sensors are also, if you're pulling forward into a parking spot, the parking sensors will still be activated, but it just gives you this visual reference here when you put it in reverse. So there's drive. If you want to manually change the gears, you just move it here to the left and use it like a ratchet shifter. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show right here. And you can always go back to drive by just kind of kicking it back over here. Pretty straightforward shifter. This right here, I'm kind of, not really a fan of it, I guess. I like open space, so anything that kind of divides space, it makes it look like you're in a smaller space than what you actually are. These cup holders are really deep, so if you have like a small cup, they're a little bit of an issue, but usually people have larger cups and bottles and stuff like that, so it's not really a problem. It is a smooth plastic there on the bottom, so if you put other things in here besides cups, like keys or whatever, it kind of tends to slide around. This armrest is kind of rubbery soft. It feels pretty good, and you can lift it up. It's released here, and then once it's released, it's kind of spring loaded so it doesn't slap back down on you. And it has just a basic compartment here with a felt lining at the bottom. My business cards are in the way. So yeah, I would probably change that felt lining in the bottom to like a white color so you can see in there a little bit better. Right now it's just kind of looks too dark, especially considering there's no light in there. It's a little spoiler for the night video. Okay, so it does have an auto dim rear view mirror, and it's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is located back here. So it has these tap lights, nothing special, and you can turn on all the interior lights, have them all off, or if you have them on with the door here in the center position here. There's the sunroof control, roadside assistance. The visor has a vinyl wrapping, unlike the headliner, which is a cloth, but it does match in color. Has a little clip here, mirror, has a light that you have to turn on manually. And yeah, this does slide out as well. But yeah, it's does a pretty good job when you slide it out. But I like the way it's vinyl, so it's easier to clean than a cloth. Okay, so the sunroof, it has a shade that blocks 100% of the light. You can open it up. Let's go ahead and tilt it. Tilt it up. Tilt it down. Now let's move it back. Push it again, it goes a little bit further back. Looking at the visibility here in the back, it has some fairly wide pillars in the back, but it's not bad as far as looking at the back glass and just kind of over your shoulder and stuff. Hasn't really been an issue. Not really. I mean, considering the size of the vehicle and all the technology it has, the parking sensors, the backup camera, the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, all that stuff helps you drive the vehicle safely. It's not really a big deal. These pillars here, they have a little space right there. They're okay. I mean, no real issues up here either. As far as the ride quality, it's about the same as the prior years with this refresh. And it feels pretty good in the smart mode, but in eco mode it's a little bit too weak for me. It's not a fast vehicle. Even when you put it in sport mode, it's not going to be like, you know, a fast vehicle. But it's okay, you know, considering you're getting, you know, 45 miles per gallon and you know, decent type of vehicle and features for the price. I think, you know, it's not really a big deal that it's not a fast vehicle, you know. You can certainly merge when you need to. You just really have to accelerate, you know, really have to push the accelerator a lot to really get as much as you can out of the engine. By default, it's just trying to sip gas, basically. That's where it's getting that high gas mileage. And of course, the hybrid system, which is trying to add to the efficiency. So like when you slow down or stop, it turns the engine off, that kind of stuff. Now the lane keep assist system, adaptive cruise control, it feels good. Doesn't really fight with you. It tends to hold the lane well. And it's, you know, like most Hyundais, there's only a couple times where I've had like just minor issues with Hyundais. Usually when it has the feature, it works fine. And this one doesn't have the, you know, surround view camera. It doesn't have the blind spot camera. It doesn't have some of the features that some of the other Hyundais have, which is, you know, which I like those features, but so I kind of miss them in this vehicle. So the little blind spot cameras in here and the 360 cameras system there. But overall, it's a pretty enjoyable vehicle for a sedan. You know, if you're accustomed to like a crossover or a SUV or something like that, you get that higher stance, you get a little bit higher seating position. This feels, you know, lower to the floor and stuff. So, you know, that's just comes with the territory with the type of vehicle. I do like the newer Hyundai steering wheels. This is kind of like the older one where it has some sharp edges in there. And yeah, so it's not my favorite steering wheel. It's fine. You know, I would just have to get used to driving it. Used to having, you know, a hand position that's not right in here because it's a little bit uncomfortable there. Yeah, the Sport kind of, the only thing about the Sport when you accelerate, the acceleration is better, but it kind of holds the RPMs up. So when you let go of the accelerator, it kind of knows, you know, it has a little bit of a deceleration, a little bit more than I would like. So the smart mode, the Eco's too weak. The Sport is a little bit annoying where it's kind of rocking you a little bit, but the smart mode is good. Now on the window sticker is showing it should get over 50 miles per gallon on the highway. I'm getting about 43, and you know, with my testing and filming it and all that stuff, that's a little bit lower than what it really calls for, but it should be a little bit higher than that. But I think it's just the way I'm using the vehicle is making it lower. But yeah, it's basically, you know, the ride quality and the experience driving it's basically just like the last year, just the refresh in the front, the back, some of the features a little bit different, some of the interior, you know, materials and all that stuff are different. But yeah, it's the same vehicle that I think a lot of people would still enjoy. It's just, you know, it's not like a complete, it's just a refresh. It's not a complete redesign. Okay, so that's to the floor acceleration. So to give you an idea of, you really have to push it hard to get it to go, to give it all it has, you know. and it's not really impressive as far as the acceleration. It's not like bad or anything, but it's just, you know, for a hybrid, a lot of hybrids, or some hybrids are designed for that extra hybrid horsepower goes behind the gas power, and it kind of gives you that extra oomph, you know. This one is just strictly for fuel economy, and it doesn't really give you that extra power, you know. It feels like it's, you know, it's designed to be just an economic type vehicle, sip gas, get you back and forth to work, that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is sport mode right here. We'll go ahead and accelerate, and I'm going to put it to the floor right now. All right. So you can see a lot of revving going on to accelerate. I mean, for the price of the vehicle, though, you get a lot of features. You get a lot of features, and if you like the way it looks, I do. I really do like the way it looks. And the Hyundai has been stepping up their game for a while now, and this is one of those vehicles that I think will sell well. You know, it looks good. It's a good price. It's very good on gas, which is very, very, you know, like if you buy a cheaper vehicle and then it's good on gas, it's like you're saving money in both ways, you know. So yeah, I think I think that's the reason why people would buy this for sure. So you can see the lane keep assist system. I mean, it doesn't bug you, it doesn't fight with you. It's straight holding the lane. Now this is a straight road, but there's other vehicles that I drive on this road where it constantly fights against me. So this one I can just, you know, effortlessly drive on the highway with no problem.